So today I thought I'd do a quick seedling progress video. I'll start off back at home. I'll show you what we've got in the conservatory on the kitchen windowsill and under the grow lights. It's not strictly necessary right now to have things under grow lights, but it is very convenient, and so I'm still using them for a few things. And then I'll bring you back to the polytunnel and I'll show you a few things that aren't going so well. A few seedlings really that maybe are just a little bit too small to bring to the polytunnel and then have a sort of -3.5 degree frost on them. But yeah, I was on holiday, I don't want to leave them in the house because I didn't really have a good place for them. And yeah, made a mistake, but that is the beauty of having grow lights. You know, I'm only about 2-3 weeks away from having replacement seedlings, and so not to worry. Anyway, let's have a look round. So I'm in my conservatory at the moment and got loads of stuff kind of going on in here, and I very much treat this conservatory as like a production line, so things tend to be in here just for sort of 20 days or thereabouts, 20 or 30 days, and then they kind of move on somewhere else. So I've got grow lights here and it's a really dull snowy day outside, and as a result I've got the grow lights on, but I don't normally have them on all of the time. So I've got peppers here which I've topped, and I've kind of topped half of my early peppers and left the others untopped. So the others are really tall at the moment. Well, half of them are, and so these are the first half that are really tall. So I thought I'd do a comparison of the topped ones and the untopped ones. And then I've got another batch up on my little shelf, and they're much more compact. I don't really know, I think it must be a variety thing. So yeah, I thought I would do a comparison between the two. And then I've got lettuces here and red tatsoi here, and ideally I'd have those on top of my wardrobe under the grow lights there, or even better on the polytunnel, not under grow lights at all. But right now it's just really cold, sort of wind chill down to like -6, so I thought I'd just hold off taking things to the allotment for a little while. And I've got celery here, just a couple of successions, and there's my main celery that's just ready for planting out now. And again, just waiting really, because little celery plants, you know, sort of this sort of size, you don't really want them to have a frost. Because once they get a little bit bigger, that sort of size, I think that they seem to be fine. But as long as it's a light frost now, at -1, -2, and then, you know, even then I would probably cover them with fleece just to be sure. My first few little cucumbers here, some radish, some komatsuma, and then this is kind of what I mean by the production line. So in here I'm starting carrots, because carrots in the polytunnel just take ages to germinate, whereas these will be up in a few days time. And I've got little potatoes, they'll be up in a few days time. I've got potatoes here that obviously are up. These are ready now to go to the polytunnel. Just got to find time to pop them down there, and they'll go, as I say, in the polytunnel under fleece at night if there's any kind of risk of frost. And then up here I've got, this is one of my primary growing areas, this little shelf. And so what I've got here are peppers, and soon all these onions will go to the allotment in the polytunnel or the greenhouse. They could go now actually, because it's no more frost forecast after tonight, and so they probably will. And then I'll replace all those with peppers, which will be quite happy in here because it doesn't go below 10 degrees centigrade. It's not heated at night, but we do have little radiators in here for the daytime. And here I've got some more zerbun onions as well in the kitchen, which is a kind of nice contrast. We've got the snow falling outside, and we've got the chili peppers on the kitchen windowsill with a few more celeries. And yeah, we are pinching off at the moment the flowers, because we don't need chili peppers right now, because we've still got plenty of chili jam and frozen ones, but we will start letting them grow on fairly soon once light levels pick up a little bit more, because at the moment they're not going to have enough energy from the sun to grow decent peppers. But we like them on the windowsill here because they just look nice, and in about June they'll be big, they'll be right up here, sort of filling the window, and we'll move them outside then. So we're on another windowsill, this one again overlooking the snowy back garden. And guardsman salad onions, I think I've got about 6 or 7 trays of salad onions waiting to be planted out, and obviously a lot of overwintered ones as well. We do get through a lot of salad onions. They're okay on the allotment, I don't really worry about them having a bit of a frost on them. And just a few flowers. And I am still using grow lights, and this is my sort of main grow light area, and I'm just using them for convenience, so there's no need to use them at this time of year. Things will be quite happy in the polytunnel, even though it's frosty at night. These little seedlings, they seem to be fine, just put a bit of fleece over them and they're fine. But for me it's just convenience, and they're here such a short amount of time, so I pricked them out only a couple of days ago and they'll be out of here in 2 weeks time. So so grow lights are just really fast and efficient when you're sort of doing like 4 or 5 trays in 2 weeks in a block, and then another 4 or 5 trays in another 2 weeks sort of thing. So what we've got here, we've got lettuces, we've got joy choy, we've got spinach. Obviously I've got loads of spinach at the moment that we're harvesting, but it's nice to have new successions coming. I've got some more lettuces, and then I've got various different sort of brassicas and tatsoi and red pak choi. And I think, these are the lettuces that are going in the garden under fleece, so all the other lettuces will be under cover. But once we get to sort of, towards the end of March, then they're fine, just under fleece outside. And then these are the little peppers. So I've got 3 successions of these. And these probably won't even need potting on. Whereas all these obviously will need potting on. These are quite a lot bigger. And these are currently under this little grow light here. It's an old, cheap one. It's not very good, but it's good enough. But these are the ones that are going to go on that shelf in the conservatory. I don't want them to grow particularly fast. I've got my early peppers. They're the ones that will start eating in sort of June, early July time. And then these will sort of come on stream late July. And then these are probably sort of August, and these are probably August as well. So it gives us a sort of nice succession. And obviously the ones that we start eating in June, July, they'll keep on going, and they'll be harvested continuously until sort of October time. So so that's the peppers. So I try and minimise the amount of time things spend under grow lights. As I said, in this case, these have been under grow lights for like a month and a bit, but they're going to go under natural light now, or in a few days' time. And a lot of the other things are just under grow lights for sort of 14, 20 days, occasionally 30 days. So we're continuing the seedling progress in the polytunnel, and just a few scrappy bits and pieces left in here really. So there's a few beetroot just still waiting to get planted out, a few calabrese. Most of my calabrese is actually planted out now and looking pretty good. A few little red cabbages, new succession. These really have suffered, so I brought these out just before that sort of bad frost. They're all, they were just a little bit too small, a little bit bigger, and they're kind of fine. So you just have to be careful sometimes, and obviously I wasn't quite careful enough. Next succession of broad beans here. Carrots for May, they're doing really nicely. Carrots for late May, coming on. Carrots for June, not too bad. And these are the salad onions there at the back. These are the early leeks. Again, not doing too bad. I don't really have any, well, I don't have any main crop onions in here at the moment because it's just a little bit too cold for them. They will risk sort of going to seed, but I'm not worried really about the salad onions. They're all fine, even in this cold weather. Here's an example of calabrese, just a little bit bigger, you see, and just able to cope with that cold, no problem at all. Underneath this snowy cold frame, here's an example of a bit more mature calabrese. Again, doing really nicely. So, hope you liked this quick video. My name's Steve. This is the Seaside Kitchen Garden and Allotment channel, and I'll see you soon.